is Taylor and welcome to my podcast. I'm from Australia. I live in North Queensland, so Northern Australia. I'm 26 and at the moment I am currently studying a degree in nursing, and basically I wanted to do this podcast. So basically I've just kind of started watching knitting podcasts. I didn't know they existed until probably like a week or two ago, and I love them so much. And I thought I would do one because I haven't seen that many Australian podcasters, so I thought maybe there are other people like myself who want that perspective, and really just so I can share what I'm doing, maybe hold myself a little bit accountable, make sure I actually get things done, and just to share what I'm doing. And I'm also a beginner knitter as well, so I think doing this will help me connect with other people and to just try new things and to push myself a little bit, get myself out of my comfort zone. And so the name of the podcast, or the channel, it's Shea Rae Knitting, and that's I've just started an Instagram with that name as well, and I'll put all of these things down below in the description, so anything that I mention I'll put down below just so it's easy to find everything. And so Shea Rae Raina is a cat that we got around Easter last year, and she really came into mine and my partner's life at a really great time. And we only had her for 9 months. Unfortunately, she was born with a virus, and it affects cats under the age of 3, I believe. And you don't know when it's going to really hit them, but it does, and it's really fast, and it's really hard. It was the hardest thing that we ever had to go through. So we had to put her down on December 1st last year. It was 2 weeks before her first birthday. So that was really hard for us to go through, my partner and I. And I thought I would just name this channel and podcast in her memory. Shea Raina is just like a little nickname that we had for her. And her photo will be on the little icon photo, I don't know what you call it, like profile pic on the Instagram, and for this channel as well. And so when that happened last year, I lost interest in a lot of things that I enjoyed doing, but I started slowly sewing again and getting into knitting and crochet. And just having these hobbies really helps. Uni is so stressful, so to have these little things to escape to, I just love it. I'm just going to have a drink. So I'm drinking water and coffee, just from a good coffee chain in Australia. It's not very good actually. But I'll drink it because it's expensive. And I'm just looking down. I've written just a few notes so I don't just ramble off to nowhere. So yeah, my background so this podcast, I'd like to do knitting, crochet and sewing. Probably mostly knitting, then crochet, then sewing, because that's just what I'm doing at the moment. And so my knitting history, when I was about 5 years old, my great-grandmother bought me this little knitting set. It had these tiny little knitting needles and a little ball of yarn. And she taught me how to cast on and just do like the basic knit stitch. But she didn't live anywhere close to us, so, and I'm not sure, maybe I just lost interest in it being 5 years old, I don't know. And that was kind of it until I was about 15, and I think it was maybe like the the World Cup or something like that, Soccer World Cup, and I was really into soccer at the time. I was playing soccer and futsal, which is indoor soccer, and so I thought I'm gonna knit a scarf with the Australian colours, which are green and gold, so I did that, and then I didn't knit again until I think middle of last year. I thought, yeah, I'm gonna do this again, and all I made was like a pet blanket, just really simple knit stitch, and I think that was about it, and some dishcloths as well. And then I stopped again, but this year I'm really determined to make a go of it. I want to push beyond beginner. I'm so sick of being the beginner. I want to really stick with this because I really do enjoy it. I think what happens is I kind of doubt myself, and then I don't want to try anything more difficult. So I'm going to choose projects where I will, it'll have like something in it to make it a little bit harder, challenging, whatever. And so yeah, that's what I want to do with that. Sewing, I first learnt to sew when I was in grade 7. I went to sewing lessons and I really enjoyed that. And I've sewed off and on over the years, and so I had a little bit of experience back then in school, and then I had a sewing machine and an overlocker, and I just pick it up every now and then. I'm not super advanced at it, but I can make basic garments and things like that. Also, another thing I wanted to get out of this podcast is where I live, it's called like a regional town, which means like a country town, I suppose. It's not that small, but it's not that big. And my assumption is due to the climate, I don't think a lot of people knit and crochet. I could be wrong, but I'll find out if anyone watches this and wants to connect with me. I'd love that. So we have basically 2 places where I live where you can go buy yarn. And Alternate, that channel, he has a podcast, it's really good. He lives in the same state as me and went to these 2 stores. So if you're interested in them, it's you can watch his little video and I'll link that below. And the 2 stores are called Spotlight and Lincraft. And they basically just sell a couple of American brands. Lion brand, it's probably the nicest one they sell. They have a little bit of Bernat, I think it's called, the baby yarn. I think they carry like 1 line of Red Heart. And then a couple of Australian yarn companies, and then their own versions, which are the cheaper budget yarns. So yeah, I wanted to just expand my horizons, find, hand dyers online, which I have. Haven't received them yet because I've only just ordered them last week. I'm so excited to get these, so excited. I've never even seen hand-dyed yarn in person, so I just can't wait to see them. And I will share them on my next podcast. I'm really, really excited about that. And yes, so what I might get into, I'm just going to have another drink. I'm going to get into my finished objects. I don't have any finished knitting or crochet projects, but I have finished 2 project bags. So I've never ever made project bags before, but I thought I'm sick of just sticking all my knitting and crocheting into like a cupboard or closet somewhere and then having to get it out, and it's all kind of all over the place. So I found a really easy tutorial, and I'll link it below. I think the name is Made by Beck. I'm pretty sure that's the blog name, and it's a really simple tutorial to follow. And I love this fabric, it's so cute. So I got this fabric from Spotlight, and it's just got a zip there. I'll open it up, and I've lined it with a pink colour, and it was just really easy to make. And so I made that one, I think it was Friday, and then I made this one yesterday. It's the same, I just changed the colour of the zip. So this is just like a canvas material. This lining, I think it's called drill. It's like another cotton type material. And there's an interfacing, which I will show you. That was the most expensive part. Sorry about that. This is the interfacing. So it's quite a thick, it's a fusible interfacing, but really easy to use. It said to use a damp cloth as you applied it, but it wasn't sticking, so I just used the wool setting on my iron and just slowly moved it over the top, and that got it to stick. But it was quite simple to follow, and I just think they're so cute. They look really good, and then you can customize them, make them look however you want to make them look, and a lot cheaper than buying them online as well, because they can be quite expensive. So this is from the tutorial, that's the size that you will make, but I have some leftover material, so I'm just going to use that tutorial, the elements of that, how she explains it there, and then just do it on larger pieces of fabric, so I can make a larger one for like sweaters or anything like that. So that's my finished objects for the week, and I'm going to show you my work in progress, the works in progress whips. I'm still getting used to all of this knitting lingo, so yeah, I'll get into that. I don't know if you can hear, that's just my printer making noises. So I'll start with this one here. This is, I forgot to mention too, I have another cat. His name's Poe, and he's awesome. He's black and white, and he's just absolutely crazy. Runs around crazy, he's very talkative, but he's so funny, and he's really lovely as well. And he loves to get, you know, the blankets that we have and just like, you know, knead them as cats do. So I thought I'm going to make him one that's really soft and squishy. So I've just done this. I think I cast on about 100 or so stitches, and I'm just doing like a knit stitch. So I'm just doing one ball and then changing to another. So I've got that yarn behind me, I'll show you it. So this is from Lincraft, and it's called Fairy Floss. And it's okay to knit with, but if you can see, it's got that there. And when you're knitting with it, that can kind of not cut into, but it's kind of grating against your skin. It's not the nicest thing. But the knitted up, you know, project, it's quite nice and soft, and I think he'll really enjoy that when I finish that. So I just have that colour and this striped one, and I'm not sure what size needles I'm knitting that on actually. The ball says size, says 5 millimeters, so maybe that's what I'm using. I can't even remember. And the next project is, oh, I'll get this book, excuse me. bought this book from Kmart, just this little journal book, and I thought it would be a good idea just to put you know, little patterns and save these, or whatever they're called, I don't know what they're called, those things, and then just like cut up the patterns and put them into the book. And that's a good size to travel with and to make notes in, so I'd rather that than a million different pieces of paper everywhere. So the next project I'll show you is a crochet project, and I didn't even explain how long I've been crocheting for. Literally a couple of weeks is all I've been crocheting for. I just taught myself by watching YouTube videos, and I like it, it's quite good, but I think I prefer knitting more. I like them both. I don't think I can pick one or the other. So this is a Lion Brand shrug pattern, just one of their free patterns on their website. And it's really simple. I'll show you. It says to use their homespun yarn, which they didn't have. Well, they did have it, but it was the thick and quick version, and it was more expensive than the one that I picked. So it's probably not even going to turn out how it's supposed to. It's probably like sewing, where you pick the wrong fabric, it's not going to work out because it's not going to drape properly, but it's all practice, so I'm not really too bothered. But the one that I did pick was, let me get that one. This comes crashing down. This one, the Heartland Thick and Quick, and the color is, I don't know how to say that, Katmai, you can see that. And it's just a really nice, soft, thick yarn. I think it's acrylic. It's a size 6, super bulky, 100% acrylic, but it's machine washable, so that'll be nice. And I'll show that to you. It's in Tangle. So that's basically what it is, and you start off by doing just single crochet, like you cast on single crochet, and then you will just crochet into the back loops, like you chain up 2, turn your work, and just into the back loops, and it gives you this really cool ridge look. Looks really nice and textured, and I really like it. So all I have to finish on that one is just get enough height, I think, and then, so you're getting like this shape here, you can see that. Just a big rectangle basically, and then you're going to fold it in half and sew it up, and I'll just show you the photo on the model. I think it'll be nice and comfortable to wear. Not too difficult. And I have another crochet project that I'm working on, and this was actually the first crochet project I started on, and it's a black and white chevron throw from Melanie Ham. She has a YouTube channel, it's quite popular, and a blog as well. I really like her stuff. It's just really simple and easy to follow, very user friendly. And oh, that's over there, let me get it, sorry. I literally have the biggest mess around me at the moment. I need to sort this whole thing out. I'm sitting on the floor. I've got this tiny little tripod. I don't have the fan on, it's so hot in here, because I thought it would interfere with the sound, so we'll see how it goes and then I'll figure it out next time. But I'm really happy with how this is looking. I did stuff up, so I think you're doing 8 and then you're skipping 2, then you're doing 8 and then you're chaining 3 into the same stitch and then 8 and then 8 and then, you know, it's like 8s and 8s and 8s. And somehow I've got like 7s at the end. So I don't think I counted my cast on properly. I was like, yeah, that's probably right, when you've really got to check it and get it right. But it doesn't really affect the look of it, so I think I should be right. I'll just find the end. So it's probably hard to see, whether you can see that. And this one, I'm using this same line brand, I think it is. Oh no, it's different. This one's Hometown USA. And the white is called New York White, and the black is called Oakland Black. And that's a size 6 again. I have a look at what size crochet hook I'm using. A 10mm. I don't think that's right. I think what I ended up doing was just buying the wrong one in the beginning, and I just stuck with that. But it's working fine. So yeah, hopefully I'll have that done soon. And I have a knitting project that I'm working on. So excited about this. My first pair of socks ever. And I'm following a knit along with Simply in Stitches. I just found her channel, and so the knit along is for the unapologetic knitter, My Favorite Vanilla Socks, the pattern's called. And so she's just kind of, it's broken down into parts, and she just walks you through like the cuff and then the leg and then I think maybe the heel and whatever. So for the socks I'm using Peyton's Dreamtime Merino. For my first pair of socks, I literally had to find the finest yarn ever. Hi guys, sorry. I was editing the video and something happened with the camera and I didn't get to finish talking about my socks. The thing I'm most excited about, and I didn't get to finish it. So yeah, I was talking about this yarn here, this Peyton's, and I was saying how it was really difficult to work with, and it's just really fine, and I've made it quite difficult on myself, but I'll push through it. So I'll just show the socks. So I'm knitting them on 9-inch circular needles, and they're the Chiaogu needles, which I purchased from Fiberific in Australia, and I really, really like them. So I've done the cuff, I'll hold that steady, and a little bit of the leg there. And it's a really nice soft yarn, but it is very fine. So I don't know if you can see, my ribbing is quite uneven. I'm not sure if that's just poor technique or if that will block out. I'm not sure, I don't really know how that works. It's probably just my really poor technique. But yeah, those are my socks so far. And I hope to have those done by next week, so I can show you, well, at least one. I can't promise both, or not next week, the next podcast, whenever that is. And when I finish those ones, I'm going to make my partner, Bryce, a pair of socks. And I've chosen this other Peyton's yarn. And I really like the colour of this, and this is another soft 100% Australian merino. And while I'm a beginner sock knitter, I just want to stick to relatively inexpensive sock yarns just to get, you know, my technique down and yeah, practice with that. It's called the Candy Girl jacket. I hope you can see that. And this is from, I think in the States there's Better Homes and Gardens as well, but we have it in Australia. And I believe once a year they release this magazine, and it's actually really good value. $13, and I think this is from last year, and it came with like knitting needles and cable needles as well. But they have just really good patterns, both knitting and crochet, for adults and kids and for homeware items. So I'll just show you that one again. I really like that as well. As much as I would love to knit everything, I have to be realistic where I live. It doesn't get cold for very long in winter. I mean, our winter is probably equivalent to a European summer, so it doesn't get cold at all. And if I'm going to spend all this time, I want to make something that I can wear. And I think making a chunky cardigan, it'll knit up a lot faster, and I'll have it sooner and I can wear it for a bit longer. So yeah, please let me know what you think. What I'll do as well, I'm really new to Ravelry, but I'll start a group. I'll figure out how to do that, and maybe we can chat. And I'd really love, you know, your input and what you thought of it, how I can improve. If you know of any good hand-dyed yarn people, let me know. I'm still so new to all of this, and yeah, just let me know. I can't wait. And I think that's it. Let me look at my notes. Yeah, that's basically all I had. Thank you so much for watching. I hope somebody does watch this, because I'd really love to just connect with you guys. If there's anybody living in Cairns, in North Queensland, that's where I am, please let me know in the comments below, or my Instagram, my Ravelry group. It doesn't exist, but it will exist. Yeah, and thank you so much for watching. And